what's the word I'm looking for? Crazy great uniform game.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Both teams went back to the throwbacks. I'm kind of iffy on the
these. I'll stop it right here.
Yeah.
These are fire.
Yeah.
These cream uniforms by
creamsicles.
Tampa. These are just money.
Absolutely.
The Falcons ones, I kind of like them too.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of.
I'm the opposite. I love the Falcons unis, especially that red helmet. It reminds me of those Dion days, and I'm kind of like I like the creamsicle. It's not my favorite throwback uniform. If I'm ranking all the throwbacks, to me, obviously the Patriots with the helmet. That red one, the old Boston Patriots one.
There's no bias in there at all. Everybody,
none, zero. Another one of my favorites is the Denver Broncos. The horse coming through the D.
Yeah.
I like
knockoff Durham Bulls.
Yes.
The logo. Yeah.
There's a few that I'm just a huge fan of, but one of them is that Falcons uniform with that red helmet, and then about midway down the list that creamsicle one. But yeah, they were in those uniforms and out there just straight balling.
Yeah, real quick before we get into the game, you remember the old color rush days?
Yeah,
a few years ago. Can we bring that back?
They need to.
Please?
They need to.
Those Seahawks neon green, like those were fire.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to the game. We've been talking about a guy that you just never knew what you were going to get, because coming out of Florida, he was this highly touted tight end.
Yep.
And everyone thought the Falcons were going to be big-time contenders with him. And it just hasn't really worked out up until last night. Like, this was a guy that I think he was Mr. Irrelevant in my fantasy league this year.
Wow. He felt that bad.
I think I picked him up at Mr. Irrelevant. Yeah. I was like, okay, I might as well. Low floor, high ceiling,
right?
Like just one of those things. 116 reception yards, 3 touchdowns. This is his first game in the NFL with 100+ receiving yards and 2+ touchdowns.
That's insane.
Yes.
He's been in the league now, what, 3 years?
3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 years.
And it's been forever since the Falcons actually incorporated him in the pass game. I don't think they ever have before this.
No, they hadn't. And it hadn't found a way to really unlock him in a way that was frustrating, obviously, to a lot of fantasy owners, but also to those that followed him in college, because he looked like the prototypical guy that can come in and just really ball out.
Right.
But it looked like they were just misusing him a lot, asking him to block, and he's not really a blocking tight end anyways. He wasn't even that at Florida. What do you think it was going to be a blocking tight end in the NFL? And it didn't feel like you're utilizing his skill set, and he plays a dependent position, so he needs the quarterback to give him the football. And Kirk Cousins did early and often. You see the numbers: 11 catches, 166 receiving yards, and those 3 massive touchdowns for the Falcons.
11 of 12 targets. Though.
Yeah,
that's something we just have not seen out of Kyle Pitts. But I will say this: you brought up the pass blocking and the run block, and there's a reason why Arthur Smith is not the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons anymore, because as Falcons fans might remember, he was the head coach when Pitts came into the league, and he was like, you know what? You're just so good at catching the ball. Like, you have these great receiver skills at Florida, and we're just not going to use them.
Yeah.
You're going to block until you get sick of it, and then you're going to go to another team. And it just made no sense to me whatsoever. Honestly, if they gave him the ball, Arthur Smith might still have a job with the Atlanta Falcons, but there's a reason why he's up with the Steelers, and Steelers fans can tell you how that's been going for them
the offense, outside of last week, that offense has been really frustrating. Very frustrating, and Arthur Smith has a lot to do with that. But, yeah, Kyle Pitts obviously put on a show yesterday, the former Florida Gator star. Back in the game, I always like when these guys give themselves the senior title whenever they do have a child. And so he is Kyle Pitts Senior, not to be mistaken for Kyle Pitts Jr., who is a toddler right now. But Kyle Pitts did talk about his 100+ yard game, 3 touchdowns, the best game since joining the National Football League.
I would say just Kirk trusting me, and me trying to win my ISOs. That was a big thing during the week. Coach Raheem and Kirk as well preached. So just being able to win my one-on-one and let the ball find me. I definitely thought I got that second foot down. I didn't know it was my cheek, but that helped a lot. And the tight end guys is like last year. I kind of got away with one last year, but the tight end guys, just the Lord, he let that be the third one, and they were the touchdown.
If you didn't see the play, he ended up getting one
I
butt
wish we
cheek
could show
down.
it.
Yeah, I know. We should show it too. That he ended up getting one butt cheek down, and I think it was John Madden or somebody used to say back in the day, a cheek equals 2 feet, and so he was able to get it down, get that touchdown to help the Falcons storm back to a victory. 29-28 was the final score there. I don't think we ever mentioned the final, but yeah, they ended up winning that game.
Big fourth quarter comeback.
Huge.
They were down by 14.
Down 2 touchdowns.
Big touchdown, big interception, another touchdown, and it ended up coming out with a win. But the guy that led him there, good old Kirk Cousins. And we've talked for, it seems like, forever during this guy's career. And you can talk about his times, you like that over in Washington, and then up in Minneapolis with the Vikings, the Kirko chains, as they like to say, on the team plane. But the one thing that's really plagued him in his career is, he's going to do great in the 1 o'clock games.
Right.
But when you put him in prime time, he just freezes. And he did not freeze last night. So, I don't know what's going on at the age of 37. But, I mean, who knows? Kirk Cousins, it does make you wonder. I know he didn't have a great year last year in his year with the Falcons. And he eventually got benched for Michael Penix.
Yeah.
But Penix went down towards the midway point of this year, and he wasn't really having a great year.
No, he wasn't. No.
And then Kirk comes in and just starts bawling.
Yeah.
It just makes you wonder what would have happened if Kirk was starting this whole time.
Yes, exactly. You wonder if it kind of, I want to say stunt his growth. I know he's been in the league for a very long time, but stunt his growth with this team, these weapons, because they have a good running game. Obviously, you saw Kyle Pitts go off with Bijan Robinson. Darnell Mooney, which I know he had the fumble yesterday, but he's had a strong start to his career as well. This is a Falcons team, at least on paper, that looks good, and looks good enough to win that division. They're 5-9 right now. But speaking of looking good on paper, the team on the other sideline, they looked exactly like that. They have, as you mentioned yesterday, they had Bucky Irving was back. Mike Evans at the time he was training to come back. He did end up coming back for this team for the first time in 6, 7, 8 weeks or so. Emeka Mbuka, who's had an unbelievable rookie season. This is a team that got approved 28-14 and managed to lose the football game in a must-have game, and now they're 7-7.
And this guy right here was not happy coming off the field. There's circulating video on social media of him being visibly frustrated. His head coach in his press conference yesterday was the most animated I think I've ever seen Todd Bowles.
No question.
We talked about the 12th straight 1,000-plus receiving yard season on the line yesterday. It's not going to happen for Mike Evans. So Jerry Rice and him will have to share the record there.
Right.
But this is a team now that has gone from one of the best in the NFL. Baker Mayfield in the MVP considerations to 1-5 in their last 6 games, and it begs the question yet again. It feels like we have to have this talk every year ever since Bruce Arians stepped down. Is Todd Bowles going to get fired?
I just don't see how he can save his job. I know they have 3 games left in the season, 2 of them against Carolina. The first one on the road coming up next week, and then a Miami game that sandwiches the Carolina games. If they can win those 2 games, get into the playoffs, that might help him out. But he'll probably need to win a playoff game or 2 to do it. But this is trending to me a lot like it is trending in Pittsburgh right now with Mike Tomlin. And it just feels like a team that is a bit stuck in neutral, because even if they win out, they're 10-7, but a very uninspiring 10-7. And as you said, during the parts of the season where you needed to clinch wins to show that you're the upper echelon, because like you said, they got off to a really nice start. They were all 5-1 to start the year. Detroit, they played them, lost. New England played them, lost. Buffalo played them, lost. The Rams played them, lost. And then, of course, they lost the divisional games against the Saints and the Falcons.
The Saints one is going to hurt.
Big time.
Hurt bad.
Big time.
I mean, the Saints are not good at all this year.
Right. And then earlier in the season, Philadelphia lost. The thing in common that those 5 teams have in common right now, those are the playoff teams.
Yeah.
Those are all playoff teams in both conferences. And now seeing how you stack up, you don't stack up great against the playoff teams, and you don't stack up well against the teams that are not going to the playoffs. The Saints are one of them.
I mean, it's not a great combination to have at this time of the year. It does remind me of the Eagles team, which ironically is going through the same thing now. It reminds me of the 2023 Eagles team when it seemed like they had the division locked up and then just inexcusably dropped so many games down the stretch and then ended up losing, ironically, again to the Buccaneers in the wild card round. But, you know, when we talk about potential candidates that Tampa Bay could go after here, you look around the league and it almost feels like you're a year or two late on this.
Yes, yeah.
Because, you know, could we see another chance for Josh McDaniels to have a head coach?
Oh, wow.
Position?
That would.
I mean, look what he did with Drake May, but is it him?
Yeah.
Or is it Mike Vrabel? Or is it the fact that he's in Foxborough? Because this has been a thing for Josh McDaniels. He's such a good offensive coordinator for the Patriots, and then whenever he parlays it into a head coaching opportunity, it
fails miserably. Almost seemingly every single time it fails miserably for Josh McDaniels. We would play you some sound from Todd Bowles.
No, we cannot do it.
However, we can't do it because we don't have enough beat buttons. Because he was in a tirade, as you mentioned, very unlike Todd Bowles.
That'd be millions of dollars right there.
Exactly. But we did get a chance to hear from Baker Mayfield a little more measured response after a heartbreaking loss.
Disappointing, obviously, but falls on my shoulders. Can't turn the ball over. Can't have that interception. And then just gotta hit Mech in stride on that third down. Listen, you can say what you want about being up 2 scores and the defense right there, but we have to be better on offense, and it comes down to how I play. And this one's going to haunt me. This falls on my shoulders. Obviously, Mike played really well, but I think not only him but J-Mac as well. They both brought energy. It was good to see that, but it comes down to me executing.
You heard a lot of execution. You also heard a lot of, like, how much do you want it? It's almost effort. And that, I think, if you're a fan, that's where the concern is. If you're just not good enough, like the Tennessee Titans, they're just not good enough. The roster's not good enough. That's one thing. Effort is another thing. And caring and, you know, having that motivation is another thing. And it looks like this team is running backwards.
Well, it's just like, where do you go at this point? Because I think when they were, I don't remember exactly what their record was, but earlier in the season, they had a 92% chance of making the playoffs.
Right.
And it's like, where do you go at this point? I think it's all the way down to 50%, and no one thought it was going to come down to the Bucs or the Panthers.
Right.
I think everyone was like, yeah, you know, the Panthers, they're a good story. They're on the come up. Last year was maybe the coming out year for Bryce Young. But then it was like, okay, you know, now there's going to be some growth here with Bryce Young. And then what is going on in Tampa? Like, this is a real possibility that we might actually get to see Bryce Young and Rico Dowdle, who unfortunately for me, it's you know, you don't really want to bring that up, being a former Cowboy or being a Cowboys fan and him being a former Cowboy. But it's just, where do you go at this point?
And a lot of questions there to be answered for the Bucs. A lot of